Hey guys, so here I am doing this video. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm not sure if I'm gonna post it or not. If you're watching it, then of course I did. But yeah, I did a video, the last video. I was just rambling and I was talking about stuff that me and my friend was talking about, and then got on the subject of sex. For whatever reason, I don't know. I don't even remember. I was just rambling on. So it's like I think I'm gonna do a video on it and why. I remember why I was going through my life, and ended up talking about it because I think that's how I personally dealt with things. That's how I personally got my acceptance. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just leave it at that. I don't know if this video helped anybody. I don't know if this video makes sense to anybody or people or whatever. But we'll see. We'll see. But I was talking about how in my life, for me, I don't do the blame part. I don't really hold anybody responsible, I guess, for how I feel about things or growing up and how I felt, about things. To me, it was lessons learned, it was life. You can't go back and change things and redo things, and I think even if I had the choice to do it, I probably wouldn't. Yeah, I probably wouldn't. But I mean, it wasn't that bad. People go through worse, and I think that's what motivates me too, is knowing that others have been through worse. I'm still here, regardless of my situations and the things that I've been through. Growing up and the meanness and the bullying and all that stuff. I'm still here for whatever reason it may be. Now, I'm really not sure why my nose is starting to clog. The seasons and stuff are starting to changing, and it's starting to get cool here in South Carolina. At least today was the first day that I felt it actually get cool. But, I don't know. Side note, sorry. But, once again, I can't, I won't use my past, and I won't use how I grew up or was treated as a way as a crutch for life and for me not progressing or me not having dreams or anything like that. I use those as motivations for me to keep on going. Can't change anything that happened. Can't change anything that I've done personally. But you just use it, move on, use it as a stepping stone, and kind of deal with it the best way possible. Well, not deal with it the best way possible. I feel like for me, as long as you're still moving and reaching for the stars, reaching, for the best or striving for the best, things are okay or things are better. I might be wrong. I probably am. I was told that I probably need to be on somebody's couch. I need to be on somebody's couch, but whatever. Which, it might be true. It might be true. But, growing up was something else. It wasn't the hardest thing in the world. I mean, there's things that, like I said, been worse. Like I said, people have been through worse. probably should just punch people in the face growing up and just call it a day. But I didn't have that insight that I have now. I didn't have the esteem, that I have now. To feel so bad about yourself and to feel that you are just ugly and unwanted and just alone, that makes you feel like the smallest person in the world. And with me, I've been there. I've been through that, and I used to compare myself to everything and everybody. Well, not everything, but to everybody, they were prettier or lighter or darker, not really lighter, but darker and taller, and my hair was really long, and to hate my own skin color, to hate being light skinned, which was a big thing for me, a big fight for me. I hated being light skinned, gosh. But once again, now awesome, but to not have that, esteem and outlook back then, was a lot, and it was a lot. I was a tomboy, played sports with my brother and his friends. We rarely had any girls in the neighborhood, and the ones that were like already into the boy stage, and I recognized boys, saw them, but never thought I was pretty enough to be in that category of boys. So I did the tomboy thing, which was still cool, still fun. Just climbed a tree a couple of weeks ago at 26, as heavy as I am. I just climbed a tree a couple weeks ago, but it was fun. For those of you that follow me on Instagram, you can see a picture of me at a tree. But yeah, the esteem and stuff was terrible. And like I said in the last video, if I post that too, I don't know. But like I said in the last video, I used to go home crying. I used to come home crying, and basically go home because we're in the same house. But I used to go home crying, and just remembering feeling so lonely and so alone. And I remember once I was older, I was just laying in my bed and crying, and I remember telling my mother how I just felt. I think she saw that I was sad, and I remember telling her how alone I felt, and just to feel so lonely. And I feel that way still to this day sometimes, and I think going through this transition in life of still finding myself and trying to find a balance for Reva and who Reva is, I do feel alone a lot too. But not in a negative sense now where I can't stand myself or hate myself, like it was back in the day. But, I do have those moments to where I feel like I am just alone. I don't have, like I said, I don't have many friends. I got more now. I have more people that I talk to and trust a little more than I have done before, or ever, actually, in my lifetime. Because I didn't, well, I'm not going to say didn't. I feel like I have to say it. I'm not going to say didn't. I'm not a big person that trusts a lot of people. Yeah, I don't trust a lot of people. Don't know if I ever will be one to let my guard down and just trust people freely. You know, I know that I should. I know that I should, but it has always been an issue for me. And I think to feel so alone growing up and feeling like you're never wanted anywhere, it's hard to be open or it's acceptable to people wanting to be close to you or in your life. And I think that's a lot of, even now that I deal with, to be able to accept people that would want to be in your life and not end up being a bitch in the end. Excuse my language, but a bitch in the end is a lot, and that's for male and female. Because Jesus, there's been some guys that act like one, and I just don't understand it, and I just don't get it. But hey, it's not for me to get, not for me to understand. Yeah, like I said, I was going to do this while I'm doing this video. I'm not sure why. Maybe to help somebody. But I do know that I've learned a lot in my 26 years. I've done a lot in my 26 years. I don't think I'll say that a lot in general. But yes. But yeah, growing up, and once I hit high school, I got more into boys. Like I was saying, when growing up from like elementary to middle school, I was considered the ugly one. You know, no shape or nothing like that. You know, I was smaller. I was tiny. It was like 5'6". But that's not really tiny. Yeah, it's not really tiny. Yeah, that's not really tiny. But I was a size 6. But for me, it was small. I was a size 6. But for me now, it was small. But I was a size 6 and wasn't. I'm not gonna say it wasn't beautiful. The way I felt on the inside radiated on the outside. You know, the self-hatred and the ugliness that I felt was very much picked up on, you know, growing up, and it was used against me. And I feel like I do believe that I was meant to not be here today. And I think it's, you know, by the grace of God that I still am here today. You know, that's just me. And I think for knowing my life and everything about it, that's the best way to even put it. That's the way to put it. But I know that when I was younger, once again, you know, that was from elementary school to middle school. Then when I got to high school, like, everything changed. Now, to me, my shape was always the same. You know, I was smaller, but I still had some type of shape, even if it was a little. But when I got to high school, it was almost like it was magnified, you know, which kind of irritated me after a while also, because no one really knew me as me. No one really still got to know me as me. You know, once you get from middle school to high school, the school is bigger, you know, and there's more kids, more boys, you know, more stuff to experience. You're more susceptible to things that you weren't really aware of, you know. And once I hit ninth grade, everything changed from there. I became this totally different person. Being before then I was quiet, um, really said anything, cried a lot. Still cried in high school. But with that crying, I did speak my mind. Um, yeah, I did speak my mind. And sorry, I did speak my mind a lot more in high school. I was very sweet being younger. Teachers loved me, loved my personality. Very quiet. Um, picked on a lot more and just dealt with it until I got home and cried or went to the guidance counselor. I actually became really good, like close to the guidance counselor. She was older, and I used to remember I used to call her my mother in middle school, you know. And, she looked out for me. I would just go to her office and cry and sometimes talk to her, sometimes just didn't even want to, and that's just how it was. But once I got to ninth grade, everything changed. Once again, everything changed. I didn't allow people to talk to me all type of way that they wanted to. I didn't allow people to come to me and just blatantly, verbally disrespect me. I started being more boisterous, got into a hell of a lot of trouble. Shit, ended up going to a few schools, two privates, a homeschool, regular school, two regular schools, and then ended up in an alternative school. But thank God I still have my regular diploma. It was just a mess. I started being noticed as, a female, not just a tomboy. Still never was as being noticed as a beautiful person. I was noticed as the girl with the big butt in high school, which is stupid as shit. But that's just what it is, and I took that and ran with it. I got noticed in any type of way, and at that time, it was fine with me. Guys noticed me. I wasn't the big old tomboy anymore. I still was a tomboy. Still was, hung out with the boys and played, with the boys after school and stuff, because I have a brother, but I started becoming more girly. Argued a lot more. Made many more enemies growing up in school and in high school. Many more enemies. And, got into my little one fight in high school. I did one in elementary, middle school, high school. Three fights that I've been in. And, just argued a lot, because I was determined that you were not going to be rude or disrespectful to me. It just wasn't, regardless how I felt about myself, you weren't going to just do what you want. Not to Reba. And that's just how it was. That's how, excuse me, that's how I felt, and that's how I thought, and became rambunctious and crazy, and probably could have got a check. The personality changes and stuff that I went through. Did ROTC for a little bit, for the time that I was in school. Did track for the time that I was in school, the last about 10th grade year. I did try, which I was actually pretty good at that. And did softball too. I was excellent at softball. But I did softball too. And gave all that up for boys and the attention, which I regret to this day because I was supposed to be in the Olympics. That was my lifelong dream. Was running and being in the Olympics. Because running for me was so freeing, so freeing, so freeing. Yeah, and softball was awesome too. But yeah, then I got to the age of 17, and that's when I started actually engaging in, the whole sex thing or whatever. And still regret it to this day. Wish I waited and still waited before I even opened that door. Before I even opened that door. But I did. I opened it, and for me, it started becoming an outlet for me. I think, like I said, I never felt wanted. I never felt accepted. To me, it's like, sorry guys, it's, everything here is just really irritates me outside of my hair. But on the inside, what was I saying? Yeah, I it was I think it was a coping thing for me. It was a way that I felt not accepted but wanted, even if it was just for those quick, little moments. I felt wanted, and for me to never feel like I was accepted or anybody wanted to be around me, or and to not have friends like that. Those little moments meant something to me. So I think that became kind of like my drug. I wasn't addicted. I wasn't a sex addict or anything like that. But it was a way for me to have my few moments of feeling wanted and accepted, and I, I, I can only speak for me, but I think that is a lot. That reason is for a lot of people, and I'm gonna say people, of why we have even opened that door to sex. Some people might have just done it once and called it a day. I don't know. But I know for me personally, it was a thing of wanting to just feel wanted for those few moments or however long it was. And that's just how I operated for a long, well, not even a long time. I'm only 26. It's only been 9 years since I started, but it's been something in those 9 years, you know, and I didn't, I didn't care. I didn't care. I mean, I didn't have any self-esteem, so it really wasn't a big deal to me. And it's sad because I think up until now, this day, sex isn't a big deal to me. It's not a holding factor for me. Now I can say now is that I'm not. Let me pick my words wisely. I'm not as promiscuous as I was. Yeah, I'm not doing anything now, but I'm not as promiscuous as I was, and it's not a it's not so much of a coping mechanism for me to where I feel like, oh, I'm down and out and I just want to feel wanted even for these seconds, so I'm just going to do it. Because let me tell you, I have never really, well, I'm not going to say never, because of my recent years as being older, I can say that I enjoyed it, but I starting having sex, I never enjoyed it, ever, ever, ever. It was just like I said, just a way for me to feel wanted, like someone wanted to be with me or around me, even if it was just for that moment. And that meant a lot to me. That meant something to me because no one really wanted to be with me or to be around me. And I think a lot of that is still an issue that I have up until this day now. Don't think that you can just walk up to me and be like, oh, whatever the sweet bullshit that y'all be whispering, or guys that be whispering, and I'm just going to have sex with you. That's just not going to happen. Those days are gone. But I think I do have I'm not going to say I fear being alone, because it is what it is. I'm not going to change myself or who I am to that degree just to make anybody happy. I'm not going to be a chameleon to make everybody happy, or John happy today and Paul happy tomorrow and Chris happy 3 days down or 3 weeks down the line or 3 years down the line. I'm just not going to do it. If you don't like me for me, it's just not going to happen. And that's just where it's at. But I think I do still have an issue in the back of my mind of if people will ever really accept me. Not accept me. If people will actually I think if people actually love me just for me, if I will ever, yeah, maybe accept it, they accept it just for me and who I am, I think that's still an issue that I deal with, you know. And I was told by an ex, not the last one, not my friend now, but a previous ex, that, you know, no one's ever really going to want to be with me, you know, and especially because I have nothing to offer or whatever. And that, I think that comment did a lot to me, which is crazy because look past it, still be messaging me every once in a while because he's an ass wife, but, and a douchebag. But that, I think that had hurt me so much, and it makes me feel like maybe there's some truth to that. Maybe no one would ever really want to be with me for me. And I say that because, you know, outside of the awesomeness that is in all of this, you know, I have to learn to decipher through the people that are really there because they want to be, which are not really much now. I don't really have any emails in my life. I only have like 2, not 3. And, you know, that's actually friends and people that are with me because of what, you know, they see on the outside. Like I said, when I was younger, up until I was 19, I was, I don't know, yeah. Well, after 19, I became a size 10, but then I got back down. So I was a size 6 for most of my life that I remember, being a teenager and stuff like that, always been small. And the fact that, I did have some type of shape then, and now that I'm bigger, I ain't gonna tell you my size. I can be all up in my business like that. Shoot. Because I'm like in a large, extra large now, waist down, it's hard to know when people are coming to you genuinely, or if they're coming to you because of what they see shape wise. You know, I don't want to be known as the girl with the big butt. I don't want to be known as the girl with the body. I remember when I wanted to get into modeling and stuff, and I told them that I refused I refused to do body shots. I refuse to do butt shots. I don't want that to be a part of me. I don't want that to be no one knows my name because they only know my ass. Like, I don't have time for that. I don't want that to be the type of connotation that's out there. I was tired of that and tired of that. And now that, like I said, I got bigger, everything kind of got enhanced a little bigger. But not that much bigger. To me, I still feel like I'm an average size, even though people probably slap me in my mouth for saying that, but I don't see anything great about it. I'm not saying I have a self-esteem problem. I just think I'm just averagely there like everybody else. And everybody else that doesn't have it is just kind of under average. That's how I see it. I think my video is finished loading of my hair. But yeah, and I have to kind of slow down and pause for moments because y'all are not going to see me cry. That's just not gonna happen. So just bear with me. Yes, and I am very much a crybaby, and I am very much sensitive and very much oversensitive, which I think is another reason why I have the attitude that I have, because those are like coping mechanisms for me and little masks for me to hide under and deal with. I don't think because people say stuff it's going to really bother me, because people on the outside dropping still got some work to do. Still got work to do. Yes. But I don't know. I just know that now I've been 26. I'll be 27 in January. I know that I want a lot of things to be different. I know that now I don't use sex as a coping mechanism. I don't use sex as a way to feel wanted and needed. That's not the reason for it. I'm trying to, I'm trying to put it in its proper place. Like I said before, it's not a binding thing for me. It's not really much of an emotional thing for me or a connection thing. I'm not one of those, oh my gosh, I just did it. Just, now how is he going to think about me? Is he ever going to call? Will he ever call? I could care less and give two shits, and I still don't care, but I don't do it with just anybody. And I don't want to say that because then y'all could be like, oh my gosh, this bitch done had sex with like 200 guys, because I haven't. I promise I haven't. But not even 100. It's not like that, But I was a mess back in the day. Some people might tell you I was a little girl or a little old something, But it is what it is. It is what it is. I just know that I want more out of life. I know that I strive to love myself more and more every day. I do have moments to where I feel just disgusting and ugly and oh my gosh, like I don't want to be in the skin. And I still have those moments I still have those moments they try to come and overtake, Reva. And, I have to, remind Reva that, God is still there. There's a reason why we're here. You know what I'm saying? There's great things to come, and which is another reason why life probably is just trying to rain down and storm on you. And that if we hold out, things are going to get better. I'm a hard worker, Those of y'all that do follow me on Instagram know I just be on it all the time, and I work constantly. If it's not for, business that, my mother's doing, helping her, it's my own stuff that I'm doing personally, and I'm just waiting for God to open those doors for my personal business, arenatas and purple prima donnas and all that stuff. But I know that things are better. Things are a lot better, you know. I thank God for the lessons learned, you know. I thank God for, still being here sometimes. Like I said, I do have those moments. But I know that I am here for a reason, and I think that y'all are the first persons to ever hear me talk like this. Like, and to ever hear the reason of why I did have sex and started, and the reasons why I was the way that I was. So y'all should feel special. And then I partly feel like I would love to deal with teenagers. I would love to talk with teenagers, and especially girls, because I remember that being a teenager and just being a kid growing up was so hard for me. And to be able to allow them, or to be able to let them know that, hey, regardless of what has happened or what's going on in your life, you're still beautiful. That your beauty starts with you. Your beauty starts within. And no matter if everyone around you says that you're ugly, or your attitude sucks, or you're dumb, or you're stupid, that the only opinion that really matters is yours. And that the fight is yours. That nobody goes to bed with you at night. That nobody has to deal with you as much as you have to deal with you. And to try to be a chameleon and to try to make everybody else happy is a waste of time. That years can go by and you will be confused as ever. Be like me, 26, confused as I don't know what about life and what's going on. And that, you don't want that as just anybody. You don't want that. You want to have an outlook of life, and you want to strive for the best no matter what it is. And I wish that I knew then what I know now. Girl, I'd be finished with school this year. I'd be on my way somewhere in the Olympics or close to it. I'd be running just around and visiting, and the world is still going to know who Reva is, but y'all would know who Reva is by now. It wouldn't be this long of a process, and I want y'all to know that you're beautiful regardless. Even, I remember when I was in elementary school, I did chorus. We did chorus. I don't even know how it happened so long ago. But I remember the song that says that everybody's beautiful in their own way. I don't remember all the words, but that's the only part that I remember. And I wish that I understood that growing up. Like, I really do wish that I understood that growing up. But it is so true. Everybody is beautiful in their own way. God made you. You're beautiful in your own way. Some way, somewhere in there, somewhere. And somebody thinks you're beautiful. I think you're beautiful. You know, you ever watch people that be walking in couples and it's like, well, you know, I know I look like this. I know she look like that. So, that dog got somebody and I don't, you know? Somebody thinks you're beautiful no matter what. And you should always think you're beautiful no matter what anybody say. Make sure your self-esteem and your outlook on yourself is here. So you can't even see my comb. Can't even see the comb. Can't even see the comb, which means it's up there. It's up there. Don't ever let anybody define who you are. Don't ever let anybody take your self-worth and your self-respect from you. Having sex is not a way to go. If I could still be a virgin, I would. If I knew what I knew now, I would. I'm not saying that sex sucks. Well, yeah, really, sex really do suck. Um, Everybody, you know, says things differently. I haven't seen the fireworks yet. Um, and I think when I was younger, I was chasing to find where the hell the fireworks were. Where is all this wonderfulness, you know, and especially with growing up and the girls that were into all that stuff, you know, before me, you know, because I started at 17. Some of these girls started like 14, 15 years old. Shit. Jesus. And some started younger than that. And he just talked about how wonderful it was. And it's just like, I haven't found that yet. Now, we're not going to go into my enjoyments and stuff like that. We're just not going to do it. But I know when I first started, it sucked. Sucked. Terrible. Sucked. Mm-mm. 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 Terrible. So, don't let that be a way of feeling like you want to be accepted. Don't let that be a way of feeling wanted. Know that you want you. Know that you love you. Know that God loves you, you know. And I know it's so cheesy. God loves you. God loves you. But you know, God really does love you. You know, I love you. I get it. I understand the selflessness. I understand the lack of having self-worth, the lack of wanting to be here, the lack of promise, the lack of a future, to not even really see a future, to not even really be able to see past today or yesterday, not to even really see past yesterday, or even the idea of not wanting to be here today. I get it, I understand it, and just know that once again, you depend on your self-worth, depends on you, your outlook, you know. And it's not easy. It's not easy. It was not easy for me to get to the point to where I am today. You know, I remember I used to, I never really dressed to the point to where everything was just out there. I've never done that. I'm not gonna say I do it more now. I dress more freely now. I still cover up, you know, because, you know, people are crazy these days, and I don't want to feel like having to go to jail for hurting anybody's child. Anyways, but I do dress more. I don't even really dress these days, girl. I be looking like who done in the wine. It's terrible. But I remember dressing in a way that was provocative, dressing in a way that made myself notice in some type of way. And just the esteem just wasn't it wasn't there. And it really has taken a lot for me to be where I am today. And yes, it's still a fight, and yes, it still is a struggle, but it's not as much. I see myself as somebody. I see myself as being worth something. I see myself as having a lot to offer, regardless of what anybody say. You might not see it today, or you might not see it, tomorrow. And actually, like I tell people, outside of me having a lot to offer, if I wanted to, you know, I've done childcare for 9 years. Always have a way to fall back. You know what I'm saying? And I think everybody should always have something to fall back on. Outside of my business that I'm doing, I still will always be able to have the means of income in my life, always. But like I said, it took a lot for me to feel any type of way about myself, to love myself, and to really give two shits about really how other people feel about me in that sense, in that capacity. If your feelings about me is not something to make me into a better person, but it's just like you want me to change because of you and to make you happy so that I get lost and have no idea who I am, then I really don't give two fucks. I really don't even give a fuck. Like, I'm not even going to waste my time trying to give a fuck about what you feel and what you think. Like, that's just how I am, and it's taken a lot for me to get to that place. Now, is that a great place to be all the time? No, because now it's hard for me to take constructive criticism. It's really hard, because now I'm afraid that if I make any type of change, it's a change for somebody else and not for myself. So I just struggle with that too, and that's another thing that I've asked God to help me with, is to change for the better. I always want to change and strive for the better, strive for the best, because at the end of the day, Reva's only going to be with Reva. When Reva goes to bed, Reva's with Reva, nobody else. Reva has to deal with the decisions and the thoughts and the actions that she does, says, and deals with on a regular basis. And if Reva's not happy with Reva, Reva tells Reva, and it's a constant fight on a constant basis and mentally, which hinders you, or can hinder me from being the person that I was meant to be. So make sure that in your journey of finding you, in your journey of finding how to love you and get back into loving you, that you don't try to get lost in the shuffle and go crazy either. I remember one night I didn't have to, and I don't know why I did it or where I got it from. Maybe my mother, I don't know. But I remember one night I was laying in bed and I was just crying, and in that crying I had to forgive myself for a lot of things that I did to myself. I had to go back and apologize to me being little and being a kid, and for being so vulnerable and open to not knowing how to stand up for myself, to being like a hairy head garbage can, to where I took everything to me, everything was personal, and I had to apologize because I felt like I didn't stand up for myself, and I had to let her even know, as being a kid, that everything is okay and everything is alright and everything's going to be alright, and that we as us are going to be fine, and that Reva is going to be okay, and that you can never protect yourself from ever getting hurt. It's just impossible, and that's a part of life. But I know that I have enough strength to pick myself back up and build again. No matter what's going on, no matter what the issue is, no matter, how painful things are when it comes to life, when it comes to breakup, when it comes to being in love, when the accepting part of it. I know that I'll always be able to pick myself up. No, I know that I'll be able to pick myself up. And I pray that I'll always be able, with the help of God, to pick myself back up and build back on me again. And that my life is in God's hands, in my hands, and really nobody else's. I know I can't do it on my own, and I need help, and I need other people in my life. But I know it's not up to them to do it for me, which is a difference. And it means a lot, which is really a difference. You see people out here that's not striving to do anything, that wants the government and stuff to take care of them, and because they just feel like that's what they need to do. They don't want to work for themselves. They don't want to work. They just want somebody else to do it and take care of them. You define your destination. Reach for the stars. If you make it to the clouds, not even to the moon or to the thing, to the sun. If you make it to the clouds, that is still great. Why? Because the clouds are still out of reach for us. It's still something you have to strive and to get to. So reaching the clouds are still great. It's still great. But no, this is a long video, and I'm sorry guys that it's a long video. But do know that you are loved. Do know that it is possible to be able to love yourself. It is possible to be able to enjoy you as a person. It is possible to be able to be happy and have happiness within yourself and not for someone else or through someone else. Because at the end of the day, you'll never be able to fully love someone, or you'll never be able to love someone or anyone if you don't love yourself. If you don't have love for yourself, there's no way that you can say that you love anybody else. It's just not possible. And if you think it is, I'm here to tell you it's not possible. It's not possible at all. So if you are having issues with your esteem, if you are having issues with yourself, I ask that you take that journey today, now, to find yourself, to love yourself, to say, hey, I am somebody. And I'm trying to think of what movie that came off of. But to know, House Party. Kid and play. But no, it's really real. Know that you are somebody, that you are put here for a reason, and that we are meant to love ourselves first, to love God first, to love yourself, and to love others. And if you don't love God, it's still hard to love yourself and love others as well, because God has put us here. So, and for those of y'all that feel like, we just came from the apes and the monkeys, whatever stupid shit that other people come with, the damn Big Bang Theory, Lord forgive me. I don't really know what to tell you, but just still love yourself, and that you still are here for a reason. If you just poof came here from nothing into something, you still were put here, for a reason. I'm not here to judge anybody based on anything, even religion, because at the end of the day, we'll all know the truth. When we become ashes, Ashes, dust to dust. I don't know the rest. I don't know the rest. But do know, once again, that you are loved. And if you don't feel that way, you don't know that, start today on that journey to loving yourself. I promise you, it's a great, great journey. I promise you, at the end of the tunnel, you will be happy and grateful and excited that you took the time to take that journey to love yourself and to take that journey to soul search and just be the great person that you were meant to be. You know, might not be as great as all of me, you know, because I'm just awesomeness. But no, I'm just kidding. I am awesome, but you know, I'm you know, no saint or anything. But I think I've gotten to the point where I don't mind talking about things in life and stuff like that. You know, and like I said, I would love to talk to teenagers and stuff, and that's another one of my heart's desires. Don't know how to talk about it or how to start it. That's another one of my heart's desires. And playing with my hair, because y'all know I'm so excited about this. And for those of y'all that are new and don't know, I am natural. Very much natural. Just straighten my hair. So, yeah. And never will go to a perm again, ever. And I got sidetracked and side note. But yeah, know that you're loved. Know that you're loved and that I love you and that God loves you, and you know, your parents love you, and if your parents don't love you, that's their problem. If you don't have a lot of friends and you don't have, you know, a lot of peers and you feel outcasted and not wanted, and that's their problem. They're missing out on a wonderful, great blessing that should be in their life, and they will regret it. They will regret it. But know that, once again, you are loved and you are wanted. Keep your head up. Strive once again for the best. And love yourself to the fullest, no matter what anybody say. Make that your number one priority. Make yourself your number one priority. So I'm basically at an hour. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this video now. I'm not sure what my next video might be on, but for those of y'all that have watched, thanks for watching. Excuse the hair, it is a mess. But yeah, thanks for watching. I hope that this has helped somebody, even if it just helped one person. I hope it looked good. I hope it perked you up and made you feel better. I hope it helped you start your journey, and you know, hopefully it could be a confirmation for somebody that has been wondering about some things. You know, subscribe, like, dislike. You know, I know people are always like, why is she saying dislike? I say dislike because it's an option that you have. You know, y'all can follow me on, I have a Twitter, but I don't ever use it. But you can follow me on Instagram. I do a lot of business on there, but I do personal stuff too. With hair and pictures, you know, stuff like that. You know, I got other stuff that I do in business wise. I'll leave it down below. I don't want to have a conversation about that. Keep in touch. Love you guys, and I really do. Yeah, once again, thank you for watching, and I will talk to y'all beautiful, lovely, lovely people later with my next video. I'm not sure what it's going to be, but we'll see. Stay tuned. Bye. Have a good night. And if you're watching during the daytime, have a great, great, blessed up day.